Hi guys, Shine Divine here. Happy holidays. Today we're going to talk about problem solving 101. So oftentimes in life when we have a problem, we get stuck or fixated or overwhelmed with the problem because we're looking at the whole problem. For instance, if we were looking at a mountain, you wouldn't look at the top of the mountain. You're thinking about one step at a time. So we're going to talk about taking big problems and finding easy solutions by breaking it down step by step. So step one is awareness. You need to first, to realize there's a problem or realize there's an underlying pattern that's happening that's creating a result, we need to first become aware of what's actually happening. For instance, I am sabotaging my finances right now. This is a pattern I've seen in the past. I realize if I keep doing this, keep doing what I've always done, I'm going to get the same result. So once we become aware, it seems very rudimentary, but once we become aware of the problem, it's only then that we can actually formulate a strategy. Once you become lucid of the dream, it's only then that you realize it's a dream, and then you can choose to fly. So, step two, formulate a strategy. Oftentimes, again with problems, they're so overwhelming because we don't have those baby step strategies. So to do that, I often look at the simplest step that I can take. Don't even think about making the whole jump at once, climbing the whole mountain at once. You wouldn't think of reading a whole book at once. You read it word by word, sentence by sentence, page by page, and chapter by chapter. So think about whatever your problem is, write it down, write your problem, write your recurring situation, and once you do that, figure out your strategy. What's my strategy? In order to attain something you've never had, you need to do something you've never done. How can you change it up? Oftentimes in life, due to our programming, due to our conditioning, due to our own self-beliefs, we oftentimes will see ourselves creating these patterns. You can probably look back in your life, patterns through relationships, patterns through finance, patterns through drama, patterns through whatever it is, your physicality, whatever it is. If you look back throughout your life and maybe you become aware of patterns you've had in the past and you've actually changed them, when you look back, we're actually just looping through patterns. You might see in a relationship, for instance, you're getting, the same thing will happen, it'll be good at the end, and then you'll start to carry it over and do the same thing. So the great thing about that is, like, looking back in the past, you can actually become aware. Once you have that realization, just like meditation of, oh, I'm thinking, you start to realize, okay, I know what's happening now. What can I do to create a strategy? What's the simplest thing I can do? Don't underestimate the power of a simple little action. It's those tiny little simple actions, those tiny little goals that are actually going to create that momentum. And then eventually, word by word, page by page, you're going to finish that book. So remember, small little goals at the starting, they will build up, you'll get momentum. So we've created our strategy, whatever that is. Brainstorm your strategy. If you want to make more money, what could I do? I could wake up earlier, I could call more employers, I could create my resume. Write that shit down. Write it down now. Pick out your book, and if you have this problem that's been festering, that's been stagnating, you pick up your book, you write down, okay, what is my problem? What am I bringing awareness to? Step one. Step two for your strategy. What is the simplest, easiest, or the first thing I need to do today? Write that shit down. If maybe you've been too stressed out emotionally lately, whatever it is, write down, okay, tomorrow I'm going to take some time for myself. No matter what, I'm going to create this prioritization. Write that down. And when you write it down, you'll hold yourself accountable. Like, for instance, I make whiteboards sometimes. If I want to have a morning practice, my problem would be sometimes in the morning through auto-programming, I don't actually think about all the things I need to do in my practice, and before I knew it, I'm doing something else. So then step two, my strategy would be I've got a whiteboard. On my whiteboard, I write down all the things I'm going to do the next day. And you could apply this to anything, to job hunting, relationships, or whatever it is. You write that shit down. Write it down now. Once you write it down, I leave it out. Again, my strategy. I leave it out where I'm going to see it first thing in the morning. And what I'm doing is I'm setting myself up for success by using, drum roll please, step 3, which is taking that massive action. So once you create your awareness, the awareness formulates into a strategy, and step 3 is your massive action. So my massive action with this, when I wake up the next morning, I'm looking at that list and I'm ticking it off. I'm taking every little step of the way. And they might seem small, they might seem insignificant, but again, every little step accumulates to finally escalating and climbing that massive peak. So again, breaking it down step by step, gaining that awareness. Once you have that awareness, breaking it down, what's a tangible strategy that you can start right now? Start right, even tomorrow morning. Stop procrastinating, do it now. It'll feel great, get that momentum. And then number 3, that massive action, where you just go persistence, persistence, persistence. And then you'll notice a large problem, all of a sudden it doesn't seem so big because you're not giving it so much power. You don't seem so helpless anymore because you know you're doing everything that you possibly can to come to a solution. And then ultimately, all the way through it, just have faith, because I'm sure you've probably been through some worse stuff. But no matter what, remember, you have the power and you're going to make it. Winning.